great spirited day, right? First day of pads, guys are getting after each other. Great teachable moments right there, right? We're towing the line, we're pushing each other, the physical nature of it. It gets heated sometimes, but it's just a great opportunity to teach them about what happens in the game. Be a great teammate. Pull our guys away. Don't give the opponent anything. We can't give them free yards. We got to keep our head about us. And again, just in general, we lose time. The play clock's running, all those things, so just really good, teachable moments right there as we start to get a little bit, pushy and shovey at the end of some plays there. Rashad Penny has decided to retire. It was a really cool opportunity for me to see. I know Rashad at his best, to see if we could get him to that kind of look. And he came up and he just felt like he wasn't himself, and I had to respect that, going forward, just for him to, I don't understand what that's like, to have a feel, to have a vision, and to wanting your body to do exactly what you tell it to do and just not responding the right way. So, he for sure I was glad to be a part of this process with him, just because I've known him for so long, and I wish Rashad the best. Let's see what else here. See Shaq Taylor, we shut them down for a day just to kind of get a little recovery, and take care of their bodies, bounce back, see if we can get them back for the for our Clemson practice there. So, any questions?
That last play, it was kind of hard to see. What happened? How did you end practice? What was that play?
Yeah, we're going to have to go to the tape. So, we have our review screens right there, and it's kind of a wide shot. There could be a body part that got in at the end right there. Maybe not, but that definitely swings our drills. We keep score of all of our drills. Interceptions, turnovers, and touchdowns are all 6 points. Everything else is pretty much 1 point for the offense or defense. So could be a big swing right there. The guys know it and expect it, and they're already talking about it right there in the huddle at the end. So we'll have to go to the tape.
What did Penny tell you about his decision? Was it right before practice or?
It was after. It was in the afternoon. Yeah. It was yesterday afterwards, and we had a really nice talk. And so again, wish Rashad the best.
Dave, there was a deal yesterday, I guess, with a drone over practice that got public. Were there any steps taken by the organization, and was that concerning to you at all at your first camp?
You guys can ask Bruce about that afterwards. I wasn't aware of that, so maybe I should have my eyes kind of figuring out where these drones are, put some fake plays out there for him or something, but I don't know.
You didn't know that?
No.
I'm sure you talked about Trevor Wallace. What are you looking for him in his rookie year? What do you expect to get out of him?
Yeah, so big, strong, and fast. He can really fly. So when he starts flying around, I know that he's starting to get the defense. He's starting to get comfortable with the calls, where he's supposed to be, his alignment and all that stuff. As young guys' wheels are turning, you can see them overthinking, sometimes processing. He's still kind of teetering in that mode. So really looking for him to settle in so we could see him big and fast every play.
What's been your message, even before practice, to players about fighting skirmishes or whatever?
My message to us is we have to be able to practice hard. We have to be able to bring everything we got between the whistles. We got to have the hitting. We got to have guys fitting up blocks the right way. We got to have the physical nature of our play to be able to make our team and to figure out who can do what. But we also got to handle the flip side of it, right? As we're going to push each other, all the way through the echo of the whistle. We have to get our minds, wrapped back around what's best for the team once that play's over. So that's been my message generally.
Dave, most training camp practices, it's really hard for that third group to get reps, especially at quarterback. Jack's had quite a few amount of reps, especially today.
Yeah.
Why is that important to develop that guy who is deep down in that pecking order right now?
Yeah, for me, it's about evaluating every player that we have. And we're going to ask our guys in preseason, we're going to ask everybody to play. So those threes have to be ready to function and really just at a basic level to be able to evaluate an offensive play. We got to get the ball snapped on time. The exchanges are critical. We've been a little bit sloppy. So the more ops I can give them now, the more we can evaluate everyone when we get into these games. That's really what it amounts to, And yes, I want the product to be good and all that, but it really gives us a chance to evaluate when we're operating, and we're functioning. So it only happens out here. We can't just make that up and assume that they're going to be able to do it once we get to preseason games.
What's your opinion on the emergency third QB role? You've talked a little bit about what you want in a third QB,
yeah.
But just generally when it comes to the rosters, what is your opinion?
Yeah, it's invaluable. I think we saw some examples around the league last year where teams got really thin with their quarterback room, and then all of a sudden you're pulling somebody from outside of the building that you haven't really had a chance to talk about your scheme and all that. And sometimes they can get it done because they're pros, but it really helps you, if you can afford to have that extra person available for the emergency type of situation.
So, J.C. Hornet kind of had the rule of the day when it comes to the one-on-ones a little bit. It seemed like there was almost kind of the punch back from the wide receivers today, especially in the early periods. How do you like that iron sharpening iron with both sides of it?
I love that. Just the opportunity for, you said it, iron sharpens iron. We make us. That's kind of the saying that we use around the building is if you bring your best, you're not trying, the point is to just come out and try to beat the guy across from you. If you bring your best and your opponent brings their best, then our whole play elevates. That's the mentality we want, really. So it doesn't become about just beating a guy. It becomes, can I execute at my best ability, at my highest level? And if we're all doing that as a team, just think about how that elevates the quality of football that we have, is when we get these matchups and people are bringing everything they have.
Difference in the running back room with no Rashad in there. I mean, that obviously means one less or one spot comes open. Guys like Miles can potentially elevate their play.
Too early to tell. Yeah.
You learned about the depth on the offensive line. I mean, you talked about safeties yesterday, but with Taylor not practicing today, Damian was kind of in and out yesterday. What do you know about that group?
Yeah, great to see Badara Traore out there with the ones working at tackle. Big matchup for him, right? He's got to block Clowney over there on the right side. So, again, just an opportunity for him to elevate his play, to pursue his best, to see how he fares against those guys. And really, just being able to have that depth, and Josh Nyman will come back to us at some point too. We're counting on him to really add some depth there at the tackle position. But I love, just talking about the interior. I love what I've seen from Chandler, from Cade Mays, from Brady Christensen right now so far in camp. I feel like it gives us a lot of versatility in there.
Update on David Davis.
Yeah, so it's a injury, and I don't have any specific timeline on it, but it's an injury that it is going to take a couple of weeks. And so right now what we need is legs. We need people out there. So we signed another receiver to make sure that we can have the numbers in that room.
Dave, with Josh, is that somebody that you hope to get back during camp, or do you think that might linger into the season?
Hopefully during camp, so we're week to week just evaluating where he's at coming off that reinforcement surgery.
Dave, when you first met Bryce, I mean, he's coming off a season where he was 2-14, almost just as many interceptions as touchdowns. It was a really tough season, obviously, offensively. What did you say to him, and was his confidence down, and did you have to get that up, and how is he now with all that?
His message was great. He was like, think about all the lessons I learned this year. I talked to him about, you got 16 games under your belt moving forward here, so there's some carryover with some stuff, but it was just about looking forward. It's about just taking each step of the way, trusting the process, trusting the progression of how we teach our quarterbacks and how we teach our offense. And that's what he's really bought into, it's just like, just today matters. Be better than yesterday. And he was, and he continues to show that ability to just take the new information, take the little adjustments, and just incorporate it to his game. So, and he's got such a great demeanor about it. There's no panic with him. It's really just he's got a real true self-belief and confidence, and his self-talk about who he is and what he can do is so great. It's so strong. That's exactly how you need to be for this position.
His confidence wasn't down when you met him at all, or?
Not to me, it wasn't. Yeah.
What jumped out about him today, though? First day in pass, what jumped out about him today? Anything positive or negative?
Really, that nothing changed from yesterday. You put the pads on, and he's still trying to throw on time. He had a couple of nice completions there. We got a little bit weird on a couple of snaps there at the end, one team period before the move the ball, so we'll be able to fix that part. But, it was just another step in the right direction. Some good play action shots he took, and just seeing him operate and feeling more and more comfortable in our system.
Will everybody be required to take the bus to Clemson? Is that how we're...
Yes. Yeah, we're going to go there as a team. It's a team function, an opportunity to just practice being together on the road, kind of, even though it's with our Panthers family and Panthers fans, it still gives us that you're not sleeping in your home, you're not at our normal hotel room. It changes the environment, and then see if the guys can execute with that response.
Dave, you're a really positive guy, and as a positive guy, you're around a group that a lot of people that were here last year had kind of underwhelming seasons or adversity or whatever, and it seems like some of those guys, maybe Mingo, Sanders, are using that as motivation. When guys focus on, let's say, hypothetically naysayers or poor production the year before, How do you kind of guide them as a leader to not dwell too much on that?
Yeah, that's just, it's the wrong process. It's the wrong approach to take. Our guys aren't really there. They're not really using that external what happened in the past. It's what can we do today? What is the 2024 Panthers team going to look like? That's what we're after. And if I can keep guys focused, working towards how do we do today in practice? Okay, how do we do on the next one? We don't need to make any judgments about the past or the future. We don't need to make any statements about this season or anything like that. Can we just have a great practice? And that's the mentality that's powerful, because if you start using external motivation, well, what happens when that motivation's gone? Then where are you at? It's got to come from here. It's got to be about pursuing your best today. Now, guys come in and I see a couple of guys who are just really focused to find their best, and I'm just trying to capture that part. Just try to ride the momentum of Miles Sanders coming into this camp with this great look on his face about what he's going to do this year. And it's just so cool to be able to use that momentum for the whole group. It's like, here's a guy that's getting after it every day. Can we all do that as a team?
Miles, he apparently had some words for the media when he came over after a touchdown or something a day. What have you noticed in that? Is there an attitude to get his job back, or what do you see out of him?
I didn't hear it, so I don't know.
Dave, is this a day, you go through OTAs and all the time just in helmets and it's mental reps? Is this like a holiday? Pads on? Does it feel like real football?
I mean, it's fantastic, but hopefully we had 3 really good days before this, of flying around. I try not to make any one thing different than the other ones. It's the same thing with games. If you were to tell me that preseason 1 isn't the most important game for a lot of the guys on our roster, you know what I mean? Like this is their opportunity. This is their shot. And I try to approach every game that way, every practice that way. Well, all of a sudden, hey, we got to turn up now. We got to really go now. That's just the wrong mentality. It shouldn't matter about the opponent. It shouldn't matter about the time of year. This is the only one we have. Can we capture it? Can we go for it? We happen to have pads on today. We got some new information about how to handle the physicality and not take it personal. That's a great teachable moment right there. But I try to push them hard every morning. I try to get up in the morning and tell them, man, this is such a great day. We got a little bit shorter practice. We're going full speed. Take advantage. Find your opportunities to make it a game rep. If we extend the practice by 20 minutes, then let's go 20 minutes longer and let's go just as hard. So if we can have that type of mental fortitude and that mentality, then every moment becomes critical. Every moment becomes important. So hopefully that's the message.
You talked a little bit about keeping score. Oh, I'm sorry. Keeping score,
yeah.
The offense and defense. Is there like a prize at the end of camp, or is there like anything that they're building towards, or is it just motivation and?
Yeah, the thing that you'll learn about these competitors out here is it's just got to have a score. And all of a sudden, these guys just go crazy. It could be ping pong. It could be trivia. It could be the practice field. And all of a sudden, they're arguing, was it a catch or was it not? And that's the nature of this level of football. These guys are highly competitive individuals. You just got to put some stake out there, and all of a sudden everybody's just going for it. So, and I truly believe in it. I saw it, in person. It's like, you wouldn't think, right? The 10-year veteran is like, oh, here we go again. No, you put a score up there and all of a sudden they go, so it's something I really love. And it brings a lot of energy to our meetings. Thank you.